Thank you. So this is the cross-sectional quantitative survey in people for disease perception and social behavior of allergic rhinitis. So good evening all of you, and I'm presenting this particular topic. As of all of you are aware about the fact that cross-sectional quantitative survey methodology is a kind of observational studies in clinical research, and in particular the allergic rhinitis is concerned. It's a most neglected disorder wherein immune system produces and responds to an antigen which is basically an IgE mediated. So according to the World Allergy Organization, it's a disorder which is affecting around 10 to 30% of world's population, and it is having high prevalence, particularly 7.8% in US, 5.9% in France, 29% in UK. However, out of all of the countries of the world, in India, we don't have such kind of prevalence studies which have been conducted. So approximately only the editorial in some review has suggested that in 1964 the prevalence was around this much, and that is 20 to 30%. And however, people say that only the 20 to 30% of Indians suffer from at least one allergic disease. So particularly thinking of this in mind, the study has been divided into four different parts. However, the only third part, that is disease perception and social behavior in the common population, has been taken concern for this particular presentation in the conference. So the methods particularly used for this particular presentation include the cross-sectional quantitative survey in people for the disease perception and social behavior. The area which is located for this particular methodology is the Mumbai metropolitan region, which is the highest populated area across India. So that is having population of around 1.5 crores. That is around more than 1.5, that is 150 millions around. So the survey methodology was online and offline questionnaire based responses. Before making questionnaires, we have done pre-pilot study in discussion with the MS, ENT as well as MBBS doctors. Then we have also discussed about ethics, and then after the pre-pilot study we did the pilot study, and then finalization of protocol was done. So ethics, as of now it is concerned, as it's a non-interventional study, we are not at all administering any of the drugs or any of such conditions which can hamper, and the population which was surveyed is a healthy population, and therefore there is no ethical approval that was sought. Regarding this, the approval was taken from the Board of Studies of Texas American University. So out of the respondents which we have approached, around 350 respondents we have approached, and we have got responses that are 240 for this particular survey. So in total the response rate which was found was the 68.57%, and out of these total respondents 58% were online and 41.67% were offline mode. Now the results, actually when we have concerned, we have asked different questions to them. So the first question was whether they are observing any symptom on one side of the nose. So as of now, if you see that the response rate, that is the, apart from this, the symptoms on the one side of the nose, that is the thick and green yellow discharge, post-nasal drip, facial pain and nose bleeds and loss of smell, we have found out that many of them are not experiencing such symptoms. Okay, according to the guideline, that is the BSACI guideline, British guideline for the allergic diseases, it states you that if the symptom is there on the one side of the nose, then the diagnosis could be alternative. That means it is not the allergic rhinitis. Whereas participants which we say that possibility of allergic rhinitis is there, that means the symptoms are at least for 1 hour on most of the days. So these symptoms like watery runny nose, sneezing, nasal itching, nasal obstruction and red itchy eyes. So these are the symptoms which people definitely observe for at least 1 hour on the most days. So what we have found out that watery runny nose and the nasal obstruction, these are having highest amount of the percentages of these particular symptoms. So these symptoms actually indicate the allergic rhinitis possibility. Now when we ask them that how they are troublesome to them, then we have found out they are mild to moderate troublesome of this particular nature. These findings are actually related to the findings or the statements that are made by Wallis RS in 1982. So therefore, we can say that the troublesomeness of the symptoms of nasal allergy is moderate or mild. Now, when we asked about exposure to the or cause of the symptoms, then we found it that there are many allergens due to which the allergic response, that is a IgE mediated response, occurs. So the different allergens that are most prevalent. However, Mumbai, as many of us might be knowing, it's a populated city, and therefore due to the condition of the roads that is there, so dust is more common allergen that is found in this particular area. So it's basically an urban area wherein we can find dust as a major allergen. However, the other allergens like furred animals, mold, pollen and air are such other symptoms. Now, how these symptoms affect of the respondents? So the respondents feel that they disturb the sleep, they cannot sleep properly, it restricts the daily activities and restricts the participation in school or work. So this actually says that allergic rhinitis has an impact on quality of life of the participants, and these findings are according to the ARIA guidelines, that is allergic rhinitis and its impact on asthma. So these guidelines by the Skading et al. In 2008 also suggest the same facts that we have observed in this particular survey. And this particular observation suggests that many people have the persistent type of the allergic rhinitis. Now, how it affects the meeting with people? Many people say, that is 48.75% of the people say that yes, it affects meeting with people. However, 9.58 say that it is not having any kind of effect on the meeting. Now, how it affects mood is also most important. So, how it affects mood is definitely people get irritated due to these symptoms as watery runny nose, nasal obstruction and all other things are there. So, people get irritated, they get depressed, and this shows that 27.92% and 25.42% of the prevalence where the effect on mood is there. Now, how it affects the relationships? Definitely the people are having effect of these particular allergies on the diseases, on their lifestyle and relationships. So yes, it always has an effect. It has an effect on private as well as work, and privately or at the work. So definitely many participants say, around 20 to 25% of the participants say that it has an effect on some or the other type of relationships with their lifestyle. Out of these participants, we have asked them that whether they have done any allergic testing. So 50% of the participants said that yes, they have done skin prick kind of testing. Only 8%, that is 7.89%, said that yes, we have done the specific allergic test, that is blood test. However, 42% were not known that what tests are there and what the tests are done or not. So that is the problem with the participants. The type of physicians that they refer to in India, as many of you might be aware of, in India we also have allopathic system, that is a modern medicine, that is a pharmacotherapy using chemical based drugs. Also we have the BAMS, that is Ayurveda, that is herbal based therapy, homeopathy and Unani system, that is particularly from the Arab world. So many of the participants refer to the allopathic physician first, as the symptoms are more troublesome in particular, that is watery runny nose, nasal itching, etc. Now they have asked also about how effective the therapy is. Around 40% of the participants said that it's a moderately effective, and 20% said that it's a highly effective therapy. However, what the results have obtained, or the discussion has been said that according to the Mandani et al. In 2011, that the effectiveness of the treatment is very less in case of the allergic rhinitis. That means it's a moderate effect. That means only 40% get benefited. So in conclusion, what we can say that disease perception and social behavior assessments help in gathering data about allergic rhinitis. So parameters such as nature of symptoms, troublesome behavior of the symptoms, cause of symptoms, and how they affect the daily activities and how they long last or how the effect on meeting with people and quality of life and mood and relationships is there. So we investigated that. Now further in this, we need actual establishment of the allergic rhinitis using these patients. So in further, what we require is we need the confirmed diagnosis. So in the next, we need to plan the study with the ethics committee approval, that we have to recruit these participants into allergic rhinitis study, and then we can actually assess their allergic testing, and then we can confirm the diagnosis, and based on that we can start the therapy. And the similar study which we conducted now, which is the only observational study, we have to conduct it actually experimentally by following up these patients when we actually do the ethics committee approval and we get the experimental work in that. So in this particular study, future scope, we can also do the research on the physician's treatment pattern and awareness about the allergic rhinitis in population. So thank you very much.